So this one is all about landing pages. So for those of you who don't know what a landing page is, it's not actually a page on your branded website. It's kind of a separate standalone page that Keller Williams has built. So it's really good for, if you want to make a property website for one of your listings, or maybe like an open house kind of information and sign-in page. Basically, they serve one purpose, and that's, the one thing they do. A lot of people kind of consider them lead capture pages. So like if you're running like maybe a Facebook ad or doing a Facebook post where you're trying to get people to fill in their information, it's a good way to kind of provide info. And then at the bottom, you can put in the lead capture form. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and we'll get into it. Got a pretty good turnout. Guess everyone wants to learn these landing pages. All right, so within Command, what you're going to do on the left side is go down to this bottom Consumer tab. So this tab is basically everything to do with website, landing pages, and your branded app. And then you're going to see at the top here, there's a tab for landing pages. So when you go there, you're going to see all the landing pages that you've created or that you're working on right now. And then on this page, you'll be able to see the status on the left side. So whether or not this page is active online, and you can toggle it active or inactive. You're going to have a link right here in the middle that you can click on, and it'll pull up the landing page you've already created. So I think most of these are just ones that we've kind of created in the past during classes, so they're probably not built too well. You'll see here, we put a video at the top. There's a branded listing right here. It's actually off market, so it looks like there's no pictures you can go through. Oh, I guess there are. So we'll get into all these different things that you can put on the page, but that's how you can actually view the page. You just click on the link right in the middle. You're going to see on the right side how many leads you've gotten from that landing page. So with that lead capture form at the bottom, as soon as someone fills it out, you're going to see the number here increase as the leads come in. And then when someone does fill out that form, they're going to get put right into your contacts. So you don't have to manually add them. They go right in there. You're going to see when it was created. And then the last option here on the right side of the screen, these three dots, when you click on it, you have a few different options. So you can go in and edit the landing page. You can change the URL. So you'll see here where my mouse is kind of towards the bottom. The end of this one is just a bunch of random letters and numbers. But when you change the URL, you can basically change what's on the back side of this. So the front's always going to be the same with your name and then your like command ID, I think that is. So basically you could change the very end portion so it doesn't look like such a kind of scammy link right here. So if you're doing it for a listing, you can put in the listing address or like open house sign in. You could also deactivate it on the right side, which is the same as basically just putting it as inactive over here on the left, or you can delete it.
What did you just change? It was the very last, after the very last slash, right?
Yes, yeah, just the very end part of this.
Okay.
All right, so to create a page, you're just going to go to the very top right corner and hit this blue button and do create a new page. And you're going to see here two options. So the first option are the pages you're creating to go on your actual website. And we have other classes all about that. But for this one, we're going to be going down to landing page. And then we're just going to hit create at the bottom. So just a quick overview of what we're looking at here. At the top left corner, this is going to be the name of your page. So I'll just put in like property address or, whatever the purpose of it is. Right underneath that, you'll see these few options here where you can change the view depending on, what platform, like what kind of device someone's going to be using to look at your landing page. So you can see how it looks on desktop, a tablet, or, a mobile phone. And these pages are formatted pretty well across the board, so you don't really have to check. But it's always good to get an idea of how it's going to look across the different devices. And then on the right side here, so these are basically the widgets that are going to be going on the website. So what is, the content on the website? And the way you add them to your page on the left is you just click and drag. So you're going to click and then just drag it over. So I'm just going to go through these one by one so we can see how they all look. And then we'll, dive a bit deeper into how to actually go and format them. So we'll start here with the branded header, because obviously the header usually goes at the top of the page. So we're just going to drag this over. And based on our marketing profile, which I'll show you how to get to that real quick. So from the home page with command, you just go up here to your name at the top right corner. And then you go down here to your profile. So if you haven't done that yet, this is a good place to start and go ahead and you'll see on the right, you can edit your profile and you'll put in all your different information here. And then I think there's also a place when you go into settings. And then on the left side here, you go to connect settings and go into your marketing profile. So I think this is actually the profile you'll need for the landing pages. So on this one, you're just going to go in and put in, your headshot, your logo, and then all your information. And then it's going to pull this information into the automatic branding on these landing pages. So you'll see when I put in this header, it's going to automatically pull in, the logo and the headshot. The next one is agent branding. So we're going to click and drag this over here. So it's pretty similar to the header. It's just a little more detailed and actually has, the office information. Next one, you'll see the lead form. So this is a good one to put on any page you create because it's what actually, gives people a chance to give you their information. So it just has first, last name, email address, phone number, and if they want to put in a note, they can. So this is a good one where if you were doing an open house, rather than having people sign in with, pen and paper, you could create a landing page for the open house. And as soon as they walk in the door, have them scan a QR code to bring them to the website where it's going to have information. And just let them know, hey, before you start looking around, if you could please, fill out that information at the bottom just so we can keep track of who's through the open house. So that's a good way to get open house leads directly into command right away. Next one we have is the footer. Obviously, this one you're going to want to put at the very bottom of the page. And it's pretty straightforward. It just kind of has our office logo or office information, the legal disclaimer. And then it also has links to your different social media accounts. Next one we have here is the listing widget. So this is a good one for, obviously putting all the listing information directly onto the page. So you don't have to go and individually add pictures and all the details. It's going to automatically pull it in. And you'll see once we add all of these widgets in, we're going to be able to go in and actually choose, which property it is and, what the primary picture is going to show. So you can kind of customize it a bit more. This is just the default one that comes up. You'll see it just kind of has the main picture and the basic info. You scroll down, it tells you, the square footage, beds, baths, when it was built. It's going to pull in your listing description. And then this page automatically cycles through your photos. And then it has all the details underneath, and it even pulls in a map which is pretty cool. It's actually an interactive map, so they can go in and, oh, I might have just messed that up, but once the page is published, they can actually go in and kind of see, you know, where it is on the map and look around that way. Next one we have here on the right is the Market Snapshot. So I'm going to drag that in here. So basically the way this works is on the next page, when we customize it, you'll be able to choose which neighborhood you want to feature. And it's going to pull in some statistics on, you know, listings that have sold in that neighborhood. Now the neighborhood outlines are from nextdoor.com. So you can't really customize it too well. So some neighborhoods are going to be better than others in terms of how accurate the outline is, how accurate the data is. Some of them, you know, you're going to get into some areas, especially with like tiny neighborhoods, or if you get, you know, further and further away from the city, you'll see that, you know, they just kind of have big areas of the map that pull in like their outline. Because basically the way, if you haven't used Nextdoor, the way it works is people kind of define their area, and then people that own homes in that area can join. And it's kind of like social media for a specific neighborhood. So when you get out into the areas where there's not as many homes in a kind of cluster area, they just pull in, you know, these big ranges. That way more people can contribute. If that makes sense. Next one we have is your local expert. Drag that in here. And you'll see it's just kind of another one of the like branded header or the, you know, agent branding. But on this one, it actually pulls in your biography. And then it also automatically pulls in this download my app button. And it automatically has the URL to go download your app. So you don't have to actually, you know, configure that. It's just a button on there that is automatically going to bring them to the App Store to download your app. Next one we have is video. So I'm going to drag that in here. And there's not really, you can do not much you can do here until we get to that next configuring stage. But with the video, what's cool is you have two different options. You can either link them to a video that's online. So you could link them to like a YouTube video, or you could actually upload your own personal video. So if you like, you know, do a little open house intro video or like a walkthrough of a listing, you can actually upload it yourself and you don't have to go and like publish it on YouTube or anything. Next one we have is the Testimonial Capture form. Which we're going to have to go and configure. But the way this works is you can basically make a landing page just for testimonials. And then, you know, say you close a deal with a client, you could send them this and they can go in and, you know, put in their information and write a review. And then if you have a testimonial page on your actual branded website, this will get inputted as a testimonial to your website. And basically the way that works is on the website, you would have a page for your reviews, and then all your different testimonials will pop up there. You can choose which ones you want to display, and it's going to kind of cycle through them, or there's a like kind of list feature where they're just all in a row. And if you don't have that page on your website yet, if you go back and watch the command web page classes, I have gone over how to add that page to your website. And also you can add this widget to your website if you would prefer to just send people, you know, to your website to get testimonials. And then last one on here is the download my app widget. And you'll see here, if you've ever gone to your, like if you actually click download the app, it brings you to your kind of a custom page that's branded to you, where it kind of breaks down what you can do with the app, and then they can go and download it from there. So this is just kind of a brief, you know, overview of it. And then if they click download app, it actually brings them to that separate page.
So Kevin, I think think I missed the step because my widgets don't have all of those.
So what I'm guessing,
like header and footer, it's not there.
Yeah. So what I'm guessing you did that you might have missed this step. So back when we went to create the page, there's these two options. You got to click the landing page at the bottom.
I did, but let me start over. Okay.
I have heard sometimes like, you'll click on one of them and it brings up the wrong widgets. I think it's just kind of an error where you might need to go in and, clear out your cookies and cache.
No, you're right. It was automatically on my agent site.
Yeah.
You're right.
Gotta click the bottom one. Yeah, it's kind of confusing because you would think they would have the same widgets on both. There's actually more options on the landing page. So hopefully they beef up the agent site page soon to have the same widgets, which is one of the benefits of using the landing page. But at the same time, it's not actually on your website. So it's kind of depends what you want to get done.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So those are all the pre-built, fancy widgets. And then you also have two options down here under content blocks. It's kind of hidden, but if you click on it, it's going to open these two up. And basically it's just an image or a text box. So if you want to, provide some more text information, you could put that in there. And then you can kind of, change up the font and the font size, and you could add in like hyperlinks and all kinds of things. And then the last is just the image. So you just drag that in. And then you can go into your computer and actually, upload a picture that way. So with that image, if you wanted to make, your own flyer, say you go into designs and create a flyer that looks really nice for like an open house or something, that's a way that you can go in and add that flyer in there. Any questions about these widgets before we get into the actual configuration of them?
Yes. Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm sorry, I am here sitting at by the gas station.
Oh, that's what we heard.
I don't want to lose this interesting class. Kevin, thank you so much for your time. Kevin, when you go to one of the, how you call digits, widgets, you said that we can get all the listing, our listing information automatically to this landing page, or
Yes.
we have to do something else?
Yeah, so you'll see here, this is the listing widget. So basically that's over here on the right side, this little listing box. And then when we get to the next step, you go into basically KWLS and you search for the listing, and it's going to pull in all that information.
Ah, okay, great. Thank you. So KWLS. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the configuring. So at the bottom right corner, you're going to see configure widgets. And then you're going to see all of the different widgets you put in here. And then you're just going to go through them one by clicking on them. And then once you pull it up, you'll see, you go through and fill out the info. There's a save button at the bottom. And then at the very top here, there's arrows to bring you from, the first widget to the next. So you'll see here with this branded header, so it's going to automatically pull in some of that information. The one missing box here is what's going to be in bold right in the middle. So this is kind of like the name of the page. So it could be, the property address or, testimonial, whatever the purpose of the page is. I'll go ahead and type that in and hit save. Oh, I thought it was the middle of the page. I guess it's on the left of the page. I think on like mobile devices, it'll be in the middle. And just to show you how that looks. So right now it defaults to the desktop view, but when you filter through these, it's going to show you what it looks like elsewhere. I guess the header isn't showing up in the preview on that one. So once the page is all done, you're just going to hit save. Make sure you save before you go to the next, because I think otherwise it will get rid of that information. And then we're going to hit the little arrow at the top to go to the next widget. So you'll see as we go through, it highlights which one you're working on, outlines it. So on this page, it's, you know, another pretty simple one. As long as you have your information in your marketing profile all set up, it's just going to pull it all in. So you just want to go through and make sure it looks good. So you'll see here, like the address doesn't have our city or state. So I could go in and add it into the back. You have your email, website, phone numbers. You could put in a fax number if you want. And then we're just going to save. The lead form, all you can really customize is what shows up at the top here. So for this one, you know, interested, let's talk. You could change it up to, you know, welcome to my open house. Please sign in below. So, you know, whatever you want them to fill out here. And you could, you know, it says leave a note. So you could put, you know, please sign in and, you know, provide some feedback to let me know, you know, what you thought of the open house. All right, next page is the listing widget. So basically it just pops up saying there's no listing yet. You just click on browse here. And this is KWLS that it's pulling in from. So what you're going to do is at the top left here, you have property address. You can also search by MLS number or your KWLS ID. I usually just go for the property address, but you'll see we do a lot of business. We got a lot of listings there. So let's see here. I'm just going to look up the address and hit enter or click search, and it's going to pull it up. So you'll see here, being in, you know, the area we're at, since we use FMLS and Georgia MLS, there's going to be two different options. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, Georgia MLS kind of brands all of their photos with a little Georgia MLS watermark. So I usually use the FMLS one, but it really doesn't make too much of a difference. But basically find your listing. And you will notice that with some listings, it's going to show like sold listings. So make sure you check, you know, and make sure it's actually yours or whichever one you're trying to find, because it might show like one that sold a few years ago. And you're just going to hit select, and it's going to pull in all that information. And then you'll see once the listing info is pulled in, you're going to have some options on the right side. So the header image is this big one that's at the top of the page. And you can either choose it from your listing photos, or you can upload a custom image by hitting that. So for this one, maybe I want to use the front of the house. And then when you hit save and apply, it's going to actually apply it to the left side of the page here. Hopefully. Maybe go to the next page. All right. Well, it's supposed to pull it in right away. We're going to see what happens when we go and save. Maybe there's some kind of error going on right now. But it looks like it's still there, so that's a good sign. All right, next page here is the Market Snapshot. So this is one we talked about where you go and select kind of a specific neighborhood. So, you know, say we have a listing in, let's say, you know, Princeton Lakes. We have one there now. You're going to go and put the postal code. So that's going to narrow down where the neighborhoods are. And then this neighborhood drop down is where you go in and actually select the neighborhood. The one pet peeve I have right here is you'll see there's no order to it. For some reason, it's not alphabetical. And you can't type. So you just kind of have to scroll down and find it, which is kind of annoying, but the fact that it narrows it down by zip code, usually there's not too many options to choose from. So you'll see there, I just quickly went down and found Princeton Lakes. So we're just going to select that and hit save and apply. Let's see if that one populated. Yeah, so that one pulled up there. So you'll see it outlines the neighborhood. It shows how many active sold listings there are and some different stats about them. Now, that being said, like I talked about earlier, with some areas, it's going to pull in, you know, a few different neighborhoods. So these statistics might be a little out of whack if you're trying to get one particular neighborhood that sells in a certain price point, and then it pulls in, you know, one tiny extra little sliver of a neighborhood that has $1 million homes. You know, the stats are going to get skewed a little bit. Just something to keep in mind. All right, next one is the local expert. It's actually down here. So again, this is just another kind of branded little bio here about you. So you go in, you put your headshot, your information, your role. So if you were maybe the listing specialist. The bio here. So when you put your bio in your marketing profile, you'll see this one's very long. It pulls it in here and I think it works fine. But if you were to type from scratch, you have a 280 character limit. I'm going to see if it lets me save. Yeah, okay. So I guess I got to hopeful with that one. So yeah, I guess you have to kind of shrink your bio down to fit within that 280 character limit, which is kind of unfortunate because that's not a whole bunch of room to talk about yourself. You have your number and your email. You have the link to download the app, which I thought it automatically pulled in, but it doesn't look like it did. So I'll show you how to get to that real quick. So back in Command, we are on the Consumer tab, so this same place we created these landing pages. You're going to go to the top right here to Site and App Settings. And then you're going to see right here on the left side, URLs. And right there, your app URL. So you can just click copy and then go back over here and paste it. So that way, when they click on it, it's going to actually bring them to the app download. And then your legal footer, it shows that it's required. You know, we have multiple other ones here that have the legal footer. You know, each office is independently owned and operated. So if you want to leave something blank where there is this little asterisk that makes it required, you can put a space there and it's going to trick the system into thinking you put something in that field. That's just a little trick if you ever want to, you know, leave something blank that is required. Why it keeps pushing me back to the top. Next page here is the video, which is right here. So you have the headline at the top. So for this one, you know, if you walked through the listing, you might say, you know, virtual tour of street. or you could do like, welcome to the open house, whatever the video is. The description is going to go right underneath there. Let me save without this. And then, like I said before, you have two different options for the video source. So you can use a URL, or you can go and manually upload one from your computer. Let's see here. So let's say I wanted to put in, this listing video. I would just copy that URL and then paste it right in here. Once again, it brings me to the top of the page. So you'll see there, it just pulls in the YouTube video right there. So they can watch it on your page. It's not actually going to bring them to YouTube. It kind of embeds it into this page.
Very cool.
All right, next one is the Testimonial Capture. Just right here. So like I said, this is identical to the one you can put on your website itself. I don't really see the purpose of making a landing page for it, but if you want to use it, basically just go through here, put in your team names. If you don't have a team, you can just put your name / Keller Williams. Your headline text, so you could put, please leave us a review. Your description goes right underneath that. So, something like this default text, it's so great working with you. Your reviews really help us work with more awesome clients. Review headline. So that is what goes right over the stars at the bottom here. So, how would you rate your experience? Your review placeholder text. So this is going to show up in this text box here as kind of like an example of what to write. So you'll see here, they kind of give you a example. How was your experience? How do they help you through the process? Did they make everything straightforward? And then you're just going to save, and it's going to, pull that information in. Once again, it brings us to the top. All right, next one is the download my app.
Hey, Kevin, real quick on the reviews. When someone leaves it, does it record their name? Like what shows up when they leave a review? Like,
You actually, oh, that sounded weird. You get to choose what is displayed. So when you go to your website, if you put in the testimonial page, like if you create that testimonial page, it gives you the option of what all you want to display. So you can choose if you want like the name included, the last name included, all
Gotcha. That. Okay, cool.
All right, next one, download the KW app page. So, the description here is pretty well written, but if you want to change it up at all, you can. You could, include something about being able to create an account and, save, homes to different property lists. And, there's a lot you can do with the app and the website once you've created the account. So you could add some more verbiage in there if you want. And then the button text, pretty self-explanatory, just shows up there in the box. And then you'll see on this one, it actually pulled in that app URL. So, we didn't have to go copy it like we did last time. So that's a very simple page that, you can just throw in there and basically do no work, and it gives them an option to get your app. And then last one, the very bottom, this is just the footer. So it's going to have the links to your different social media accounts, which is all pulled from your marketing profile. It's going to have your logo and then the office information. So not the most exciting one, but it's something that makes, you know, the kind of finalizes the page. So you have that legal information at the bottom. All right, so we're going to save and apply, make sure everything's saved, make sure everything looks good. Once it does, you have two options at the top. So you can save it or you can publish it. So if we save it, and hopefully this actually saves and I don't regret this, but it should show up right here at the, oops. You'll see when we save, it goes back to this home page. So it's on our agent site page tab. We need to go back to landing pages at the top. And then we're going to see this draft is my top one. It says you haven't published it yet. So what we're going to do is go to the three dots on the right and click on edit. And it's just going to pull this page up again. Hopefully, yeah. So once you finish it up, you can just automatically publish it if you want. I just want to show you that if you we're working on it still, that's the way to save it and then go back in to edit it later. So if everything looks good, we're just going to click on publish. And then yes, update it. And then again, we're going to click on landing pages to get back to that list. And we're going to see it right at the top. So like I started the class with, you have all your different options on this page. So right now it's showing active. You can always take it off by clicking that. And then toggle it back on to put it back online. And then if we want to change the URL from this crazy long one, we just go to the three dots and hit change URL. Makes it look a bit better. If we click on it, we're going to get to go preview it. So hopefully that listing tab that wasn't working earlier will look better for us. It's over here. So everything looks good here. Like I said before, with this lead capture form, if they fill this out, it's going to put them directly into command. So we can try that out, make sure it works. Send. Not sure if that worked or not, but I guess we'll find out. All right, so this listing did not work. So we're gonna have to go figure out what's going on there. Oh, a lot of these didn't work. It's like it didn't save the second half of the stuff I was working on. All right, so let's see if we can figure this out. We're gonna go back in here and edit the page. This is why you always check your work before you start publishing it and sending it out on Facebook. And all right, so listing widget. Let's see here. Oh. It's not going to work.
I'm glad this is happening because this happened to me too, so I don't feel alone.
She's happy you failed.
Yeah. Live troubleshooting here. All right, let's see. Go back here. All right. Let me click on it. Let's try reselecting it maybe. It likes messing with me. Likes testing my skills during live classes. All right. So what I'm going to try here is going back to this widget page. Let's just try throwing another one in. Maybe that one just didn't want to work for some reason. Let's configure that. Well, there it is. So I guess that first one didn't want to work. So let's try publishing this again and we'll see if it pulled that info in. Doesn't look like it. I might have to report this to KW. But do you get the idea of what it's supposed to look like?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't use landing pages much, so it has been a while since I've tried this. I don't know if it's a known issue or maybe I need to clear out my cookies and cache. I haven't done that in a little while.
I didn't see Kevin up this far. It's good to know though. Either way, the class is helpful, but it's good to know there's an issue.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, typically they work well. So hopefully you guys can test this out too and see if you have better luck. Otherwise, it might just be an issue that needs to be worked out on the back end. Yeah. See if this one pulls up. Yeah, so like these pages I created in the past seem to work fine. So that's how it should look. But that's pretty much the overview. You guys have any questions about it, aside from it not working very well?
I have a question. It's Irene. I'm a new agent. I'm like real new, like 1 week in new. So right now, of course, I'm working on getting listings and so forth. I don't have that yet. But if I want to do things to, for instance, farm a neighborhood, to your point, I can create this in such a way where it's just a little bit about me. I can pull in that neighborhood information, that kind of thing. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So, and one thing I'll show you guys on that note. So say you want to like go door knock your neighborhood with some flyers or, you know, post something on social media or whatever. So you go and create the page. And then if you go into Google and just look up QR code generator or just QR code, there's a bunch of different websites you can use. I usually just go with whatever one's at the top. So QRcodegenerator.com. Sounds good. And then what you can do is you can go and copy that URL and paste it right in here. And it's going to create a QR code that you can scan. And then you can download it by hitting download at the bottom there.
Right.
And then I guess can see my phone, but so I just scanned it and it, it brings you right to the website. So then you can take that downloaded picture and you can go like create a flyer that has that QR code and be like, hey, scan to learn about the neighborhood stats or about this listing or, anything.
Gotcha. Okay,
That would
cool.
work well for like the open house sign-in sheet too, rather than making them like type in this long URL, just be like, hey, scan it when you walk in, contact list sign-in.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kevin, I actually used the QR monkey one that you
Uh-huh.
and I used it to put the QR code on the back of my business card so they can scan and go to the part of my website where they can download my app.
Nice.
So that was helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel fancy.
Got that in mind too.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. I love it. Thank you for that.
Of course. All right. Any other thoughts, questions? Somebody in the chat here. Zoya, I don't know. Yeah, you're still on here. I see your question about can you add in files, like attachments, I'm assuming. I don't think there's a way to do that right now. I don't know, maybe there's some like different websites that you can host files on and maybe share a URL to the page, but yeah, not too sure about that one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Anything else?
Oh, your happy hour. Are you doing it today or tomorrow? Because there was a misunderstanding on the dates in the meeting yesterday.
Yeah, I know last week because of Thomas and Brown and the actual happy hour, we moved it to Wednesday, so it is tomorrow this week.
Okay.
Or, is that last week? Or is that 2 weeks ago?
It was 2 weeks ago, I think. I don't know. I can't keep up.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, we do have happy hour tomorrow at 5 p.m. So Irene, as a newer agent, it's definitely a good time to get in there and learn random things, or if you have any questions about command.
So the happy hour, where is this at the office?
It's virtual, so we're gonna send out the Zoom link, and we all.
You.
Well, usually it's just me that has a drink, but
Got you.
Hop on with the drink if you want.
Every time he has his drink.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Kevin,
Yes.
for you this question. I got lost when you say how we can rename the URL. Would you mind repeating that part, please, for me?
Right, can you say that again? Car's going by.
How do you rename the URL?
Oh, rename it? Yeah.
Yes, the URL.
Get back in here.
How do you do it? I mean,
So,
what words did you not?
Yeah, so on the page, you know how to get to the landing page list here?
Yes, uh-huh.
Hit these 3 dots on the right side of the screen. And then you just go to change URL.
Okay.
And then you can customize the back end of it.
Okay. Okay, customize only the last part. Okay, thank you.
All righty, guys.
Hey, Kevin, if no one else has anything else, can I, since we have a couple minutes left, or if you have time, can I show you something on my page? If I share my screen I'm hung up on an agent site page.
All right, you should be able to share it.
Okay. Okay. See under the view column? Like I was setting up and I was doing this for my agent, obviously my regular site page.
Yeah.
So it says no view available. This is not an active, what does it say? Sub page.
Yeah. So
I had it there a minute ago and then I had to make some changes. And then when I published it, it's not showing up under my site.
Okay. So I think when you make changes, it kind of saves it as a new page. So you actually have to go in and add in the updated page. So go to your site and app settings and then agent site pages.
Yeah. So I guess I have to add it here.
Yeah.
Okay, there. So it's already there. So I just continue.
Yeah, and then you give it the title and the slug. Yeah, this would actually be a good one to show the class because we were talking about it earlier.
Okay, so here, the unique URL slug for this page, no spaces or special. So like we're kind of following, what is this, an example below? Or I just add the string on the end?
Yeah, I would say like ericdecker.com/reviews or, testimonials.
So I need to add my name and stuff or just the testimonial?
No. Yeah, just the back end. Kind of like with the landing page, you just customize.
Oh, okay. Where it says new/page. So what would you name this? Client reviews?
I usually just do reviews.
Oh, to be sure.
Because that's just for us to see, right?
Yeah, like if the client, clicks on that page of your website, that's what shows up with the, as the URL at the top.
Oh yeah, gotcha. And then the description. So what do you do? What are you putting in for SEO stuff? I mean,
I usually don't focus too much on it. I'll put like, reviews of the, one of the top East Cobb real estate agents or something. It's really just for if someone goes to Google, like what the optimization will be. It's not my skill set, but there's a million things you could learn about that. I like that one. That'll get you some attention.
So
yeah, you can always change it too. But,
okay, so I saved that. Let's see, does that say? Okay, so that's saved and then close. Okay, so now it should show up because I've already configured the widget.
Yeah, so now when you go to your website, you should see it on there.
All right, so let me go boop, and then boop. Bam. See why he's the bomb, you guys?
So that, like I said earlier, so this is how this page looks. So you can actually create a page like this on your site for people to fill in testimonials. And then at the bottom there, as they start filling them in is where it's going to show up with the testimonials. And once they do that, Eric can go in there to customize the page and choose like which ones he wants to display and how they're displayed and, everything like that.
Sure. So in the meantime, I'll just keep that, obviously the bottom section off until I get some.
Yeah, probably. Or you could create some fake ones, if that's ethical.
What's that?
Or you create a few fake ones, ethical.
Eric is amazing.
We can all review each other. There's no rule.
Why did he create all these reviews for himself? No, I'll let my clients do that. I'm patient. I'll wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
What you can do, like say you already have some reviews on like Zillow or Google, you can just copy and paste it in. Like it is a real review, but you're not asking to do it again.
But then it won't show it. It's not going to show the name though, right?
But you would type in the name. You
okay.
Review, you put in, the stars, the name, the address or whatever. And
okay. So it does allow you to do that.
Yeah. So you don't actually put in like an email. So it's not like,
you don't have to sign in to do it.
Yeah.
You can cheat, Eric.
Yeah.
All right. I'll just say this. Don't do it. I'm not doing it. Nobody do it. No. Get your reviews from your clients.
Yeah. And it's a good touch anyway. Be like, hey, I just created my website. Here's a link to your Google review. Would you mind copying it to my website?
That's right.
Campaign.
Yeah, that's a whole campaign, exactly.
Yeah. So Kevin, we had a good question on this side. What would you say is the difference between a site, an agent site page and a landing page?
So if you've created a agent site page before, you'll see there's less widgets to choose from. So that's one of the big differences is there's just a few more things you can simply do with the landing pages. Like the video takes a little more coding knowledge to actually be able to do that to your agent page right now, because there's not that video widget. But in my opinion, the reason I mainly use the agent site pages is when you're doing one of these landing pages, it's not linked to your website at all. Like its sole purpose is to be, you know, a one-stop shop for whatever you want to do and then maybe capture some info. Whereas, you know, the website, you can have these pages on here, but the biggest thing is this whole platform of like how they can search for homes, they can save homes, you know, they can chat with their co-buyers. There's just a lot more built into the actual website. I'm not even sharing it. Oops. That might help. But yeah, so this is like the actual website, just like what Eric just had. So it actually has your branded information and people can create their own accounts on here. So you'll see right here, I'm logged in as myself. I created my own kind of buyer account. You can add in like a co-buyer. If I have my, you know, girlfriend in here as a co-buyer, you can go in and, you know, see the history of what you've looked at and what you've saved. There's a whole like buyer and seller guide you can go through. So there's just a lot more you can do with the website that's been pre-built for you. Whereas the landing page, like I said, it's kind of just it serves one purpose, and that's to, you know, basically give information and capture leads.
I think my landing page is just saying, hey, download my app.
No. Yes, please.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, so Jim wanted Kevin. Kevin, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim wanted me to make a quick announcement to everyone. So on Tuesday, they're not going to do a Zoom sales meeting. It's going to be an in-person only team meeting, in-person only. And he's interviewing Matt Mitchell, and Matt's talking about buying his first investment property, what the process looks like, how he's financing. So he'd love for all of you guys to come in and learn, because, you know, we're all about wealth building here, right? So please come in. I will not be there, and I can't zoom in because I'm going to be out of town. And take good notes for me.
It's not going to be streamed on Facebook or Zoom? It's only in person?
Nope, only in person. So tell Patty you have to run in here for an hour and a half. All right, cool. Thank you, Kevin. As always, you are invaluable. You are a gem.
Thank you.
And we always appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
No, he is.
I want to see you all tomorrow at happy hour, 5 o'clock.
That's right, yeah. And if you guys are not jumping on the happy hour, you should. And if it's just you, it's perfect.
Right.
Yeah, it's perfect. You get him all by yourself. Yeah. But now that I've said that, it won't be just you, Joe.
Yeah, it's growing, and I'm kind of like, man. I'm happy for y'all, but I'm kind of being selfish.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you
guys.
Are the
Thanks, Kevin.
team meetings going to be
Bye.
happy as well? Like, are they just cutting off?